The creature no one could tame, purred in a human's lap. The Zephyrian council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Thrixtal clicked his mandibles nervously, his four eyes darting between the assembled delegates. The holographic display behind him showed footage that had shaken the entire Galactic Federation. A human, sitting calmly in what appeared to be a spacecraft's recreation area, while the most feared creature in known space lay curled in his lap, producing what could only be described as contentment sounds. Distinguished delegates, Thrixtal began, his translator struggling with the clicks and whistles of his native tongue. We have a situation. Commander Veltar of the Korthak Empire leaned forward, her scaled hide rippling with barely contained anxiety. That creature has terrorized 17 star systems. It destroyed an entire hegemony battle fleet. Our best xenobiologist couldn't even determine its species before it escaped containment and slaughtered half the research station. The hologram flickered, showing archived footage of the creature's previous encounters. In one clip, it moved, like liquid shadow through a Centaurian military compound, its form shifting between states of matter as it tore through energy shields and armor plating with equal ease. Another showed it emerging from the wreckage of a dreadnought, its crystalline spines glowing with absorbed energy from the ship's reactor core. We designated it Classification Omega-7, continued Veltar. Hostile, indestructible, and utterly untamable. 3 civilizations have fallen trying to contain or weaponize it. Dr. Ythoro, the Federation's leading xenopsychologist, adjusted her spectral analysis equipment with trembling tentacles. The creature appears to exist in multiple dimensional phases simultaneously. Its cognitive patterns are unlike anything we've encountered, pure predatory instinct combined with intelligence that borders on precognition. It anticipates attacks before they're even conceived. The human in question, identified as Marcus, Chen, a terraforming engineer from the colony ship New Horizon, had been discovered by a routine patrol 3 days ago. The patrol ship's captain had expected to find debris and bodies, given the creature's presence in the sector. Instead, they found Chen reading a book while the cosmic horror that had haunted their nightmares for decades lay draped across his legs like an oversized cat. How? The question came from Delegate Nethrak, her hive-mind consciousness buzzing with confusion. Our greatest warriors, our most advanced containment systems, our psychic dominators, all failed. Yet this human sits with it as if it were a pet. Ambassador Thrixtal activated another hologram, this one showing Chen's first contact with the creature. The footage was grainy, captured by the emergency beacon from a mining vessel that had been the creature's latest target. In the recording, Chen could be seen floating in a damaged EVA suit among the wreckage of the mining platform. The creature materialized from the quantum foam like a nightmare-given form. 12 feet of shifting matter that seemed to violate several laws of physics simultaneously. Its spines crackled with energy, and space itself seemed to bend around its presence. The assembled delegates watched in fascination and horror as the creature approached Chen with clear predatory intent. They expected to witness another slaughter, another addition to the creature's countless victims. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Chen looked up from his damaged suit's diagnostic display and said, "Oh, hello there. You look upset." The creature paused, its form solidifying slightly as if caught off guard by the human's complete lack of fear. "Rough day?" Chen continued conversationally, still working on his suit repairs. "I get it. I've been having a pretty terrible week myself. My ship got pulled out of hyperspace by some kind of gravitational anomaly, crashed into this mining rig, and now I'm stuck trying to fix a power coupling with nothing but a multi-tool and sheer stubbornness." The creature's energy discharge dimmed to a barely perceptible glow. "You know what helps when I'm frustrated?" Chen asked, finally looking directly at the creature. "Honestly, just having someone listen, not trying to fix everything or fight back or run away, just listen." What followed defied every xenobiological study, every military doctrine, and every piece of conventional wisdom the Federation possessed. The creature, this force of cosmic destruction that had brought civilizations to their knees, slowly lowered, itself to the deck plating near Chen and began to make a sound none of them had heard before, a low, rhythmic rumbling that their instruments could barely detect. It was purring, Dr. Ythoro whispered, reviewing the spectral analysis for the 100th time. A creature that exists partially outside our dimensional framework was purring. The current footage showed the aftermath of that first encounter. Chen had somehow managed to repair his suit and make contact with the patrol vessel, but he'd refused evacuation unless they could guarantee the creature's safety. Its name is Void, Chen had explained to the bewildered rescue team. At least, that's what I'm calling it. Turns out it's been alone for a very long time, thousands of years, maybe more. Can you imagine existing in the emptiness between stars, never finding anything that could understand you or communicate with you? Everything you encounter either runs away or tries to kill you? The delegates watched as Chen gently stroked what appeared to be the creature's head, his hand passing through semi-corporeal matter that shouldn't have been able to support physical touch. Void's form rippled with what could only be described as contentment. The human claims it was never truly hostile, Thrixtal reported. According to Chen, the creature was simply lonely. Its attacks on our vessels and stations were attempts at communication, frustrated by our inability to understand or respond appropriately. Commander Veltar's scales shifted from red to a confused purple. Communication? It destroyed entire worlds. Think about it from its perspective, came a new voice from the chamber's entrance. Marcus Chen himself walked in, accompanied by a shimmering distortion in the air that made several delegates reach for their weapons before remembering they were in a neutral zone. If you were trying to make contact with beings whose existence was so brief and fragile that your very presence could harm them, and they kept responding with violence, wouldn't you eventually get frustrated? Void materialized more solidly, its form settling into something roughly approximating a large quadruped, though its edges still flickered between dimensions. It made that purring sound again, and rubbed against Chen's leg with obvious affection. Humans have a long history of making friends with things that other species consider dangerous or impossible to domesticate, Chen explained. We turned wolves into dogs, convinced cats to live with us despite their independence, and somehow managed to bond with creatures that could kill us without trying. It's not about dominance or control. It's about empathy and patience. Dr. Ythoro tentacled forward cautiously. But the dimensional shifting, the energy absorption, the quantum manipulation, Void's been trying to show us its abilities, not threaten us with them, Chen said. Watch this. He held up his hand, and Void's form shifted, extending a tendril-like appendage that carefully wound around Chen's fingers. Where they touched, space rippled, and suddenly Chen was holding what appeared to be a perfect sphere of crystallized starlight. It's a gift, Chen explained as the delegates stared in wonder. Void can manipulate matter and energy at the quantum level. Imagine what we could accomplish working together instead of fighting. The implications hit the assembled delegates like a shockwave. Technology beyond their wildest dreams. Problems that had seemed insurmountable suddenly within reach, all because one human had looked at their greatest fear and seen not a monster, but a lonely being in need of companionship. This is impossible, Commander Veltar muttered, but her voice lacked conviction. That's what they said about faster-than-light travel, Chen replied with a smile. And artificial gravity. And peaceful coexistence between species with completely different evolutionary backgrounds. He gestured to the diverse assembly of aliens around them. Humans specialize in making the impossible seem routine. As if to emphasize his point, Void settled down next to Chen and resumed purring, its cosmic form somehow managing to convey the same contentment as any house cat on a sunny afternoon. Ambassador Thrixtal looked around the chamber at the faces of beings who had spent decades in terror of the creature now contentedly napping beside a human engineer. So, what do we do now? Chen scratched behind what might have been Void's ears, earning an even louder purr. Now, we learn. We grow. We discover what incredible things become possible when you choose friendship over fear. He looked up at the assembled delegates with eyes that held both wisdom and mischief. After all, every human child knows that the best monsters are the ones that become your best friends. In the silence that followed, as the most powerful beings in the galaxy contemplated a future where their greatest threat had become humanity's newest companion, Void's contented purring filled the chamber like the sound of stars singing lullabies to the void.